From the moment the leaked documents hit the internet, everything changed. Screenshots, spreadsheets, emails, and confidential reports began circulating, each one painting a darker, more tangled picture than the last. At the center of the chaos, Erika Kirk, suddenly thrust into the spotlight as accusations swirl around a massive 15M TPUSA financial cover-up that no one saw coming. What began as whispers among insiders has now exploded into a full-blown federal investigation. According to sources close to the situation, the IRS has officially launched a probe after irregularities were flagged in TPUSA's internal filings. And now, leaked evidence suggests that Erika may have had far more involvement in the financial operations, directly or indirectly, than the public ever realized. Social media is on fire with speculation. Supporters are scrambling to defend her, while critics claim this is just the tip of the iceberg. Every hour, new receipts drop. Every leak raises more questions. Was this a mistake? A misunderstanding? Or a carefully orchestrated cover-up that finally collapsed under its own weight? And the biggest question of all, why was Erika's name tied so closely to the confidential 15M trail buried inside TPUSA's books? This scandal is unraveling in real time, and the next revelations will only get messier, louder, and more explosive. Buckle up, because the truth behind these leaked documents is about to shake everything. The scandal surrounding Erika Kirk erupted like wildfire after leaked documents began circulating online late last night, documents that allegedly connect her to a $15 million financial discrepancy inside TPUSA, one that the IRS now believes is significant enough to warrant a full federal probe. The timing of the leak could not have been more explosive. Erika had just appeared at a private event 2 days prior, speaking confidently about family values, transparency, and accountability. But behind the scenes, sources say investigators were already asking questions. The leak reportedly came from someone inside the TPUSA circle, someone who had access to internal records, and was growing increasingly concerned that major financial inconsistencies were being ignored. According to early reports, the files contain transaction histories showing unexplained transfers, inflated invoices, and what appear to be payments routed through outside consultants, who had no public connection to TPUSA's operations. Erika's name appears repeatedly in the leaked material, not necessarily as the person authorizing the transfers, but allegedly as someone involved in correspondence about them. Several emails appear to show her discussing donor allocations, event budgets, and vendor partnerships that now seem suspicious in light of the investigation. While none of the documents clearly show Erika instructing anyone to hide funds, critics argue that her level of involvement makes it impossible for her to claim complete ignorance. Political commentators, who have followed TPUSA's finances for years, have pointed out that the organization has operated under intense public scrutiny before, but nothing of this magnitude. A federal investigation signals that the IRS believes the issue is not just internal mismanagement, it may involve intentional misreporting or misuse of funds. And when a federal agency steps in, it means they suspect that something substantial, deliberate, and systemic happened. What makes the situation even more tense is the silence from TPUSA leadership. Typically quick to respond to controversies, they have reportedly issued no internal statements beyond one short memo telling staff not to engage with rumors online. This silence only added fuel to the fire, leading many to believe the organization is bracing for a storm far bigger than a social media scandal. As the leaked files spread, fans and critics began dissecting every line, every attachment, every mention of Erika's name. TikTok creators pulled up old interviews where she discussed TPUSA budgets. Twitter threads resurfaced past controversies involving individuals connected to the organization. Reddit investigators began mapping out financial timelines going back several years. And in the midst of this chaos, Erika's public image took the biggest hit. For years, she cultivated a persona built on moral clarity, religious values, and polished professionalism. But with her name now tied to questionable financial activity, that image is being challenged in ways she never prepared for. The leaked emails show something else that has everyone talking: tension. Several messages indicate friction between team members, disagreements about funding decisions, and subtle hints that some individuals felt uncomfortable with certain transactions. One email, allegedly written by a mid-level staffer, expresses concern about being asked to sign off on numbers that don't add up. Another mentions an urgent need to fix discrepancies before the audit. These are the kinds of statements that investigators take extremely seriously. They suggest that multiple people within the organization knew something was wrong, and that attempts were being made to cover it up. Sources close to the situation say that Erika is shocked by how quickly everything spiraled, claiming she never expected her name to become tied to something this serious. But critics argue that the documents tell another story, one where she was more involved than she claims, even if unintentionally. As part 1 closes, one thing is clear: this scandal is bigger than anyone expected. The documents have raised more questions than answers, and the IRS's involvement guarantees that the investigation will dig deeper, go wider, and expose every truth, no matter who it affects. The fallout from the leak started spreading like wildfire. Once the first batch of screenshots went public, more insiders, former staff, contractors, interns, even donors, began reaching out to journalists and online investigators with their own stories. Each new account added another piece to a puzzle that was beginning to look far more deliberate than accidental. One donor reported that they had given a 6-figure sum to a specific youth outreach program, only to later discover the program never took place. Another whistleblower claimed event costs were routinely inflated beyond anything realistic. A third reported being told not to ask follow-up questions about where their money was going. Again, Erika's name showed up in internal communication threads surrounding these concerns. But the real turning point came when a set of internal financial ledgers, handwritten notes, electronically edited documents, and signed approvals were leaked anonymously. These records show multiple entries marked temporary hold, internal reroute, and outreach reserve, all of which insiders now claim were euphemisms for funds that didn't have legitimate destinations. Attached to several of these entries was Erika's digital signature. While some defenders argued that signatures can be forged, or that Erika may have approved these documents without understanding the details, financial investigators disagreed. IRS specialists note that signatures carry legal accountability, and approving financial reallocations without knowledge is itself a violation of federal reporting laws, meaning even ignorance wouldn't absolve her. As more evidence dropped, Erika began pulling away from public appearances. Events she was scheduled to attend were suddenly cancelled, often with vague explanations like personal obligations or timeline conflicts. But insiders insist these cancellations weren't optional. Erika was instructed to step back until the legal team could understand the full extent of the investigation. Charlie Kirk, meanwhile, was reportedly furious. Not because he believed Erika had done something wrong, but because of the damage the scandal could do to TPUSA's reputation. Sources say he confronted multiple staff members, demanding to know who leaked the documents, who was talking to the IRS, and how far the investigation might go. His anger, however, only intensified the scrutiny. The moment leaked evidence hit the internet, everything surrounding Erika Kirk and the alleged 15M TPUSA cover-up transformed from whispered suspicions into a full-blown national scandal. What started as screenshots, whispers, and anonymous DMs quickly became a coordinated investigation, leaving Erika scrambling to figure out who leaked the documents, how they got out, and what the next move should be. By the time the IRS publicly confirmed a federal inquiry, there was no containing the firestorm. Behind the scenes, insiders say Erika was completely blindsided. She didn't expect the allegations to catch fire so fast, especially since she believed she had handled the internal fallout months earlier. But the leaks didn't come from TPUSA staff, political rivals, or disgruntled donors. According to multiple sources, they came from someone Erika trusted, someone close to her personal circle, who had access to conversations and documents she never imagined would be exposed. Those leaked files allegedly show inconsistencies in donor reporting, misallocated funds, and unexplained routing of payments through outside consultants, including individuals who reportedly have direct ties to Erika. Screenshots of emails, voice notes, and internal memos paint a picture of a network of communication that raises serious questions about awareness, participation, and whether Erika played a role in the cover-up, or simply failed to stop it. Either way, both scenarios have placed her directly in the crosshairs of the investigation. When the IRS confirmed they were launching a probe, the political world exploded. Conservative influencers, political commentators, and even former TPUSA employees began sharing cryptic posts suggesting they saw this coming. Some claimed this was only the beginning, while others hinted that the leak was just the first batch of evidence, and more documents could drop. Overnight, Erika's name began trending on social media, with fans and critics dissecting every public appearance she has made in the last year. Erika's team attempted to contain the situation, calling the allegations distorted, malicious, and politically motivated. But the internet wasn't convinced. Every denial seemed to create even more speculation. Every statement raised new questions. And every attempt to redirect attention only made people look deeper into her connections, her role at TPUSA, and her personal ties to key figures involved in the financial network. Meanwhile, former insiders began giving interviews, speaking anonymously through voice changes, and claiming that the culture inside TPUSA had been tense for months. Several insisted that concerns about finances had been raised internally long before the leaks, yet nothing was done. One former staffer even claimed that Erika was seen as untouchable, and any attempt to question her decisions was immediately shut down. But what truly amplified the situation was a series of leaked audio recordings, short clips allegedly featuring high-level conversations about getting numbers to match, keeping donors calm, and not letting this hit the media. Although the voices haven't been officially confirmed, fans immediately began comparing them to Erika's previous speeches and panel appearances. The similarities sparked a wave of online investigations, with users creating side-by-side comparisons trying to identify who was speaking in each clip. The more people listened, the more convinced they became that Erika was directly involved in discussions about the financial inconsistencies. Whether she initiated them, or was simply trying to manage the fallout remains unclear, but the optics alone have been devastating. As the media firestorm grew, Erika reportedly held multiple private meetings with crisis managers, attorneys, and PR strategists. Insiders claim she is terrified, but pretending to be calm, trying to maintain her public persona while battling one of the most damaging scandals she has ever faced. Some sources say she didn't expect the IRS to take interest so quickly, let alone launch a high-level probe. Now, TPUSA donors are demanding answers. Board members are reportedly divided, some want Erika removed immediately, while others believe the organization should wait until the investigation concludes. Tensions have reached a breaking point, and leaks suggest internal power struggles are escalating behind closed doors. What makes the situation even worse for Erika is the fact that rival political groups are using this scandal to discredit the entire organization. Commentators on both sides of the political spectrum are discussing the allegations in detail, pulling up old interviews, analyzing her statements, and revisiting every leadership decision she ever made. Even people who previously supported her are distancing themselves, afraid that being connected to the scandal could damage their own reputations. For Erika, the hardest part may not be the federal investigation, but the betrayal. Insiders insist she is convinced someone close to her intentionally leaked the documents. Names have been thrown around, accusations whispered, and trust has completely evaporated. Everyone is a suspect. Every conversation is being questioned. Every past interaction is being reinterpreted. As pressure intensifies, Erika's family has also been forced into the spotlight. Critics have begun questioning her marriage, her influence over Charlie Kirk's career, and whether their personal life has played a role in any of the financial decisions under scrutiny. Every layer of her world is now being peeled back, examined, and debated, whether it's accurate or not. Yet despite the chaos, one thing remains certain: this story is far from over. The federal probe is only beginning. More leaks are expected. More insiders are preparing to speak out. And Erika's response, or lack of response, in the coming days will determine the trajectory of her entire future. Her reputation, influence, and career are all hanging in the balance. As the world watches, one question remains: was Erika a mastermind, a scapegoat, or someone who simply got caught in a fire she thought she could control? Only time, and the investigation, will reveal the truth. The revelations surrounding Erika Kirk, and the alleged $15 million TPUSA cover-up have taken this story into a shocking new chapter, and with the IRS now launching a federal probe, everything is changing fast. Every hour, new leaked evidence, insider claims, and behind-the-scenes reactions are surfacing online, and the truth is becoming harder for anyone to ignore. Fans, commentators, and investigators are all watching closely as this situation grows more intense, more complicated, and more unpredictable with each new development. If you want to stay ahead of the story and catch every twist the moment it drops, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications right now. This is the kind of investigation that unfolds piece by piece, and you don't want to be the last to know when the next revelation hits the public. Comment below with your thoughts on the leaked documents, the alleged financial trail, and the IRS stepping in. The debate is heating up, and your voice matters. Stay locked in, stay aware, and stay ready, because the next chapter in this unfolding scandal could be the most explosive one yet, and you won't want to miss a second of it.